The wind tousled Jake Morrison's short, messy brown hair as he stood at the edge of Millfield High School's soccer field, his green eyes scanning the students around him. At 16, Jake was no stranger to adventure, having spent countless hours exploring the woods surrounding his old home in search of mysteries and secrets. But nothing could have prepared him for the challenge of being the new kid in a small town like Millfield. "Hey, you coming or what?" called out a lanky boy with a mop of ginger hair, tossing a soccer ball from hand to hand. Jake hesitated, his natural curiosity itching to join the game, but a knot of anxiety tightened in his chest. I don't know," he muttered, shoving his hands into his pockets. "I'm not really good at soccer." "Come on, it's just for fun," the boy insisted, offering an encouraging smile. "All right," Jake agreed, taking a deep breath to steel himself against his nerves. As he jogged onto the field, he couldn't help but feel a pang of loneliness as he watched groups of friends laughing and talking together. He wished he could simply walk up to them and be included, but it wasn't that easy. "Nice moves, new kid," a girl with dark braids jeered as Jake stumbled over the ball, sending it rolling toward the goal. The other kids laughed, and Jake felt his face grow hot with embarrassment. "Way to make a first impression," he muttered under his breath, kicking the grass in frustration. "Hey, don't worry about it," said the ginger-haired boy, jogging over to Jake's side. "I'm Tom, by the way." "Jake." He forced a smile, grateful for the small gesture of kindness. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling of isolation that seemed to cling to him like a second skin. "Give it time, Jake," Tom said, clapping him on the shoulder. "You'll fit in soon enough." But as the days passed, that promise seemed to ring hollow. Though he tried his best to engage with his classmates and participate in activities, Jake found himself drifting further and further to the outskirts of Millfield's tightly knit social circles. Whispered conversations stopped when he approached, and invitations to hang out were always mysteriously rescinded at the last moment. "Why can't I just fit in?" Jake wondered, staring at his reflection in the bathroom mirror as he got ready for school one morning. His green eyes appeared duller than usual, weighed down by frustration and loneliness. "What am I doing wrong?" He shook his head, pushing away the disheartening thoughts. If there was one thing Jake Morrison could depend on, it was his innate sense of curiosity and adventure, a trait that, for better or worse, had always steered his life. And so, as he shouldered his backpack and set off for another day of navigating the treacherous waters of high school, Jake vowed to himself that he would find his place in this strange new town, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Millfield was a picturesque town, nestled among rolling hills and surrounded by dense forests that seemed to hold their secrets close. The streets were lined with charming brick buildings adorned with ivy, and the air held a captivating blend of fresh earth and the distant scent of baking bread from the local bakery. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other and their business, but beneath its serene surface, an undercurrent of mystery pulsed, almost palpable in the whispers carried by the wind. "Hey, check out this old photo I found." Jake's curiosity had led him to explore the town archives one afternoon, hoping to uncover some of Millfield's hidden stories. As he carefully leafed through the aged pages, his fingers traced the faded ink detailing the town's history. "Wow, this place hasn't changed much," he mused aloud, comparing the sepia-toned image of a bustling market square with the vibrant scene outside the library window. There was a certain beauty in the town's timeless charm, and for a brief moment, Jake felt a sense of connection to its past. But despite this fleeting comfort, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more, something lurking just beyond the edges of his understanding. With a sigh, Jake closed the dusty book and decided to take a walk through Millfield, hoping that by immersing himself in the town, he might find some answers, or at least a distraction from his loneliness. As he strolled down the cobblestone streets, He couldn't help but notice the way the townspeople seemed to move with a shared rhythm, like performers in a well-rehearsed play. He longed to feel that same sense of belonging, but knew it would take time and effort to truly become part of their world. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the streets, Jake stumbled upon a sight that immediately captured his attention: an old bell tower, standing tall amidst the encroaching darkness. There was something about its aged appearance and eerie atmosphere that called to him, igniting a spark of curiosity deep within. The tower loomed above him, its weathered stones bearing witness to countless years and untold stories. It was as if the structure had been waiting patiently for someone like Jake to come along and delve into the secrets it guarded. And as the sky darkened further, the tower seemed to beckon him closer with an invisible, yet irresistible force. "Wow," Jake whispered under his breath, unable to tear his eyes away from the mysterious building. "There's definitely something special about this place." Little did he know, his fascination with the old bell tower was only just beginning, and his journey into the heart of Millfield's supernatural mysteries would soon change his life forever. As Jake stood at the base of the old bell tower, he couldn't help but marvel at its haunting presence. The tower's sheer height seemed to pierce the sky, stretching upward like an ancient finger pointing towards the heavens. Its weathered stones were like a patchwork quilt of grays and browns, bearing the scars of time and neglect. The tower's silent yet imposing demeanor reminded Jake of a sentinel keeping watch over the town of Millfield. "Pretty creepy, isn't it?" a voice suddenly shattered his thoughts. Jake turned to see a girl around his age with fiery red hair and curious blue eyes. She was leaning against a nearby lamppost, her arms folded across her chest. "Ah, yeah," Jake stammered, his heart racing from the surprise. "It's definitely got an eerie vibe." "Locals say it's haunted," the girl continued, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "They don't talk about it much, though. I've heard whispers, but no one's ever really confirmed anything." "Haunted?" Jake repeated, feeling a thrill race down his spine. He glanced back at the tower, suddenly seeing it in a new light. His curiosity piqued, he turned back to the girl. "So, you live here?" "In Millfield." "Born and raised," she replied with a grin. "I'm Emma, by the way." "Jake," he introduced himself, forcing a smile despite the unease growing within him. "Just moved here." "Ah, the mysterious new guy," Emma said playfully. "Well, welcome to Millfield, land of secrets and shadows." "Land of secrets and shadows, huh?" Jake echoed, raising an eyebrow as he looked back at the looming bell tower. He could feel something tugging at his mind, urging him to uncover the truth behind the whispered rumors. "Hey, Emma," Jake asked, a determined glint in his eyes. "Would you happen to know anything more about this tower? I mean, its history, or any stories surrounding it?" "Maybe," Emma replied coyly, pushing off the lamppost. "But are you sure you want to go poking around in things best left alone?" "Absolutely," Jake responded without hesitation, his desire to unravel the mystery of the bell tower now stronger than ever. A newfound determination coursed through him, fueled by the whispers and secrets that seemed to cling to the very air around them. "All right then," Emma said, a grin slowly spreading across her face. "Let's see what we can dig up. But be warned, Jake Morrison, once you start down this path, there's no turning back." "Sounds like my kind of adventure," Jake replied, his heart pounding with anticipation as they walked away from the silent sentinel, eager to uncover the truth behind the haunting presence of Millfield's old bell tower. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across Millfield's narrow cobbled streets. Jake Morrison found himself irresistibly drawn to the imposing bell tower that had captured his imagination earlier. As he walked toward it, a shiver of uncertainty ran down his spine, but his adventurous spirit remained steadfast. "Hey, what are you doing?" came a familiar voice behind him. He turned to see Emma, her brow furrowed with concern. "Couldn't shake off the feeling I needed to come back," Jake admitted, his green eyes fixed on the weathered stones of the tower. "Something about this place just calls to me." Emma hesitated, then sighed. "All right, but we're in this together." She fell into step beside him, her own curiosity equally piqued. As they approached the tower, the air grew colder, and the scent of damp earth and moss filled their nostrils. The wind seemed to whisper ominous secrets, as it rustled through the nearby trees, adding to the mounting sense of foreboding. "Are you sure about this, Jake?" Emma asked, her voice wavering ever so slightly. Jake glanced at her, his resolve unwavering. "Yeah, I am. We've got to find out what lies beneath all those whispers and fear." He took another step closer to the tower, determination settling like steel within him. "Okay," Emma replied uneasily, swallowing hard. "Just remember, curiosity killed the cat, or whatever." "Let's hope that doesn't apply to us," Jake muttered, focusing on the tower once more. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if an unseen force was attempting to hold them back. Despite this, Jake doggedly pressed on, propelled by the insatiable desire to uncover the truth. "Can you feel that?" he asked suddenly, stopping in his tracks. Emma nodded wordlessly, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and apprehension. "Like the strange energy," she whispered, her breath visible in the crisp night air. "As if something's trying to break through." "Or keep us out," Jake added, his own breath fogging up in front of him. But deep down, a part of him recognized this energy as an invitation, a challenge to venture further into the unknown. "Come on," he said, taking Emma's hand. "Let's find out what's hidden within these walls." Together, they faced the bell tower, their hearts pounding with anticipation. "Ready?" he asked, his voice steady despite the mounting tension in the air. "Ready," Emma confirmed, squeezing his hand tightly. With one last deep breath, they crossed the threshold, stepping closer to the heart of Millfield's most haunted secret. As they ventured deeper into the tower, the once distant flickering lights grew more pronounced. Shadows danced along the walls, playing out a ghostly performance that sent shivers down Jake's spine. He couldn't shake off the feeling that the shadows were alive, watching them with keen interest. The air was thick and heavy, filled with the scent of decay and damp stone. "Can you hear that?" Emma whispered, her voice barely audible over the sound of their synchronized breathing. Jake strained his ears, attempting to discern any unusual noises obscured by the tower's eerie silence. And then he heard it, a low hum, almost like a chant, reverberating throughout the chamber. It was an otherworldly sound, one that seemed to draw him in even as it unsettled him. "Let's keep going," he said with determination, his adventurous spirit overpowering any lingering doubts. "I need to know what's causing this." "Are you sure, Jake?" Emma asked, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and concern. "It could be dangerous." "Of course it's dangerous," he replied, green eyes glittering with excitement. "But if we want to uncover the truth behind this tower, we can't let fear hold us back." "All right," she conceded, her grip on his hand tightening for reassurance. "Just promise me you'll be careful." "Promise," he agreed, offering her a smile before returning his full attention to the mysterious sounds and lights pervading the dark space around them. With each cautious step, Jake felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through his veins, fueling his resolve to unravel the enigma that had haunted Millfield for generations. He knew that delving further into the unknown would test his bravery and resilience, but the thought only emboldened him. "Is it just me, or are those lights getting brighter?" Emma asked, her voice tinged with apprehension. "Definitely brighter," Jake confirmed, his curiosity piqued. "And the sounds, they're getting louder too." Jake, what if we find something, or someone? Emma questioned hesitantly, her eyes scanning their dimly lit surroundings. Then we'll finally have some answers, he responded, his voice resolute. Whatever's hiding in this tower, I want to know its story. All right, Jake, Emma said, nodding her agreement. Let's do this. With a newfound sense of determination, Jake led them further into the ancient bell tower, driven by an unquenchable thirst for truth and the desire to unlock the secrets that had long lingered within its walls. As Jake and Emma delved deeper into the heart of the tower, the atmosphere seemed to thicken around them. Shadows danced on the walls as the flickering lights grew more intense, casting eerie silhouettes that sent shivers down their spines. Did you see that? Jake whispered, pointing to a shadow that seemed to move on its own accord. His green eyes were wide with fascination, and he couldn't help but feel a thrill at the prospect of uncovering the truth behind the tower's haunting reputation. Maybe it's just our imaginations playing tricks on us, Emma suggested, her voice wavering slightly. She was trying to sound brave, but it was evident that she too was affected by the strange phenomena surrounding them. Or maybe it's something more, Jake mused, his adventurous spirit fully ignited. Think about it, Emma. We could be the ones to finally solve this mystery. No one else has dared to come this far. Jake, you know I'm with you all the way, Emma replied, her words laced with determination despite her fear. But we need to be careful. If there's really something supernatural going on here, who knows what we might find, or what might find us. Right, Jake agreed, nodding solemnly. We'll stick together, no matter what. Deal, Emma said, reaching out to grasp Jake's hand tightly, as though anchoring herself to him in the face of the unknown. With each step they took toward the source of the flickering lights and unexplained sounds, Jake felt the anticipation building within him. What had begun as a simple curiosity now felt like a calling, a challenge he was destined to face. He knew that the path before him would be fraught with danger, but the thought only served to strengthen his resolve. Are you ready for this, Emma? He asked, his voice laden with excitement and trepidation. Let's find out what's hiding in this tower, she answered resolutely, her eyes shining with the same adventurous spirit that had always drawn them together. Together, they approached the heart of the bell tower, the weight of history and mystery bearing down upon them. Jake took a deep breath, steeling himself for the supernatural investigation that would change his life forever. There was no turning back now, he was committed to unveiling the secrets that had haunted Millfield for generations. As Jake stood before the threshold of the unknown, he couldn't help but feel a swell of pride for the courage he and Emma were displaying. They were about to embark on an adventure unlike any other, and the anticipation of what lay ahead was almost too much to bear. Ready? He asked, looking into Emma's eyes one last time, seeking reassurance and camaraderie. Ready, she echoed, her voice steady and confident. With a shared nod, they crossed the threshold together, stepping into the darkness and embracing the mysteries that awaited them within the ancient bell tower.